Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and today we're going to be discussing my most anticipated releases for 2022, at least for the first half of the year. Now, please excuse that my voice sounds awful. To be honest, I'm gonna track down, I don't know where my water went, but I'm currently sick. I currently have COVID and yeah, I'm doing okay. Most of my symptoms are gone and stuff, but yeah, my voice is getting on my nerves already. I'll be back. Hold on. This is going to be annoying, so we're going to get through this short. I'm doing perfectly fine. I have a very mild case. I'm just annoyed because of 2 years of being so strenuous and so good. I get taken down by a 2-year-old, but anyway. I feel like 2022 has a lot of really exciting releases. 2021, there weren't many big releases with a couple notable exceptions. But there weren't like things I was dying for like years previously. This time around, I think we do have a really great set and really exciting set of books coming out. Most of them happen to be in the second half of the year, but there are a couple I'm excited for in this as well. I think I have 11 books to talk to you about, and we're just going to jump in. Because this video is so late, I actually have the first book, and that's Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna Maguire. This is not a surprise or like a particularly exciting, I think, book to be talking about, but I was anticipating it. I haven't read it yet. This is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series, and as you probably know, they're portal fantasies, novellas. This one is really interesting because it takes place in a school setting, but not the school setting that we're used to, and just the vibes of it seem really kind of dark, maybe macabre, and I'm into it. Like, whatever this cover's given me, I'm enjoying. So I'm very excited to give this a go. This came out on January 4th. Book 2 on this list is set to come out February 22nd, and that's Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Whoa. Ashley Herring Blake. Got it. This is, I think, Ashley Herring Blake's first adult book. It's a sapphic contemporary romance that looks really cool. I like the vibes of it again. I should have put on the record, I'm not very good at knowing exactly what's going to happen in books. I will go into something knowing like some very key ideas or vibes of it, and that's really all I want going into it. As I mentioned, this is sapphic. It is like dislike to lovers. A girl goes back to her hometown to like her family that she doesn't really like. I don't know if they're step family or actually related. Her like sister asks her to be the wedding photographer for her wedding, and she's going to say no, but then gets offered like a 5-figure check, so she obviously does it, and then bumps into an old rival or old person she didn't really dislike, and then they are a part of like doing like wedding planning and stuff like that. And it sounds real cute. I'm excited. This cover is gorgeous. I know I said there aren't many big releases or things I'm dying for. I cannot believe we are getting this book. I'm so excited. I can't put it into words, but the next book I have to talk about is The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty, coming out March 1st. It's actually only the audio copy that's coming out now. Before this book was only scheduled to be audio only, which like sucks, but I would have dealt with. But the print version is coming later on in the year. But yeah, the audio version, the first edition of this, is coming out, and I cannot wait. Can't believe it. I cannot deal with the fact that I get more Daevabad content. Is S.A. Chakraborty going to save my 2022? Maybe, because it's already started off abysmally, as we can tell. This follows a bunch of the characters past and present, and just is like a bunch of short stories set in the world of Daevabad. We go way back, like I think to the very beginnings of the city, and then we have a little bit that's going on after the events of the last book, and I cannot believe it. It's so incredibly exciting, and it's honestly one of the few things that I'm looking forward to with 2022. I cannot believe it. This next book has a super long title, so let me look it up because I did not write the whole thing down. But it is The Way Spring Arrives and Other Stories, a collection of Chinese science fiction and fantasy in translation from a visionary team of female and non-binary creators. That is exactly what the title suggests. I've had this on my radar for a really, really long time because R.F. Kuang mentioned it a long time ago, and that she's actually a contributor to this. I don't know if she is the translator or writing the story, but either way, super excited. This just seems exactly up my alley for what I want with like speculative short story collections. It sounds so good. It's speculative and it's translated fiction. R.F. Kuang is involved. I cannot wait. Love this cover. This one I'm actually like really excited for. I think I requested it on NetGalley, but I think I'm still pending. But I'm so excited to read this. How long is it? 400 pages. Perfect. Can't wait to read this. The next book on my radar is Wicked and Wild Things by Francesca May. This is set to come out March 29th, and I already have an arc of this, so I will be reading it actually pretty soon, probably sometime in February. God, my voice is driving me crazy. This was put on my radar because a lot of people were talking about it, and I really like the cover and started to see that crop up a lot more. This, I know, is like a historical fantasy. It got Gatsby vibes, which could go either way for me, but I like the atmosphere and stuff of Gatsby, like that indulgent, lush atmosphere I think could be really cool, and it's definitely sapphic. So I just like the vibes of it. It seems very mysterious, decadent, dangerous. I believe there is an element of like not an underworld, but kind of like a magical underbelly. Ooh, you know what? I maybe take back what I said at the very beginning of this video, saying a lot of the big releases are coming in the second half, because there's another one I'm dying to get my little hands on, and I just can't wait. But that's Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. We're finally getting the follow-up to Black Sun, a book I absolutely loved in 2019. It made the list of favorites. I love this book. It was so good. Loved the world, loved the characters, and cannot wait to see what went down with the craziness of the like final climactic bits. This is set to come out April 19th. I still hate this cover. It is upsetting to me, especially because Black Sun is just the most beautiful thing ever. But it's a sequel I cannot wait to have in my hands. It looks great, I hope. Really interested in this next book, which is a debut, and that's Kaikai by Vaishnavi Patel. This is set to come out April 26th. This is along the vein of books that have been getting really popular lately, of like a woman in myth retelling her own story, and it just sounds really great. This focuses on Kaikai, who is an Indian myth. Literally everything about it ticks my boxes, in the vein of like the Madeline Miller. I think this is about a woman like choosing her own agency. She's not supposed to really do anything other than be a pretty princess, and then things go down. It looks great. Ooh, I love this, about a woman who is like supposed to be villainous in myth, and like her getting her story sounds fucking phenomenal. Can't wait for it. So Isabella from the future here to quickly mention that I can't believe I forgot this one, although it was kind of like an under the radar thing, small press release. But anyway, I can't wait for The Jade Settler of Jen Loon by Fonda Lee. This is like book 0.5 in the Greenbone Saga, which is another series I love. Some favorite authors here are really coming through to make 2022 really exciting with releases. Can't believe I'm getting more content in the Greenbone Saga. I've already pre-ordered this. It's like a limited edition read with Subterranean Press, so if you're interested, I would look into it very soon. Other than that, I think it's coming out in ebook, but I'm excited for it. And yeah, I think this is coming out sometime in April. I couldn't find an exact date. Anyway, yay, exciting. Moving on. I am also somewhat anticipating, no I am, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is set to come out May 3rd. I've read two of her adult contemporary romance books and enjoyed them both. Book Lovers I'm a bit leery on because sometimes when authors lean too much into the book thing, it seems like we're pandering a little sometimes, is what I get the vibe of when like a character's biggest hobby is reading. It's like, get a new hobby. That's my hobby. You don't have to pander to me. We shall see. I have really liked both books. I did like Beach Read better. This one might be make or break because I didn't absolutely love People We Meet on Vacation. Moving on to another book I've had on my radar for quite some time, and that is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is set to come out May 17th. This is inspired by 1001 Nights and weaves the gripping tale of a legendary smuggler, cowardly prince, and a dangerous quest across the desert to find a legendary magical lamp. Initially, what struck me is that there are some Daevabad vibes to it with the like legendary smuggler, and not a cowardly prince exactly, but kind of the same vibes. And I just think this looks great. I love desert fantasies. I love historical-esque fantasies. I know this isn't set in the real world, but I just I love that setting. I love Jinn. I love the mythologies that are usually brought up with them. I cannot wait for this book. This seems really great. I believe this one is also a debut. That said that weird. I have 2 books left. Should be able to get through them rather quickly. The next book I'm so excited to have on my radar is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. Amari was such a standout book that I read in 2021. It was such a gem, such a joy. Gave it 5 stars, loved it. This is the sequel to it. I can't really talk that much more about it. It's set to come out May 31st, I believe. Publication was actually pushed back. I think it was supposed to come out in February, and I would have loved to read it then, but I'll love to read it in May. There were some twists and turns that I didn't catch on to, so I want to see what's going to be the fallout about that, and I love Amari as a character so much. I cannot wait to get her next installment in the series. My final book, I almost missed it because I've marked it as one to read on Goodreads for so many years. We didn't have a cover for a while. There was a title, but it's been a long time in the making, and that's The Final Strife by I forgot to write down their name, by Sarah Al-Arifi. This is set to come out June 23rd, and this is a North African and Arabian inspired fantasy trilogy. This is the first book. This is also, I think, a debut, and it seems so cool. It does follow a series of trials, though, which is not a favorite buzzword of mine, but I will deal with it because the world just sounds so cool. And it just follows 3 women that band together against a cruel empire that divides people by blood, and they want to shift power. Sounds really cool. Love this cover. Can't wait to read it. This seems like a pretty good list, if I do say so myself, because these seems all like books that I am actually going to read this year. It's not ones that I'm vaguely interested. These are all books that I actively want to read and will probably, hopefully, have read by the end of 2022. My throat is killing me. This is driving me crazy, but let me know down in the comments below any anticipated releases that I did not mention that should be on my radar. I would love to know. It's exciting to be excited, to look forward to something, because other than Jade Legacy and the Jasmine Throne, I didn't have a ton of books I was absolutely dying to get in my hands. I'm dying. Okay. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. And hopefully my voice didn't drive you crazy, because it might be driving me crazy. Anyway, bye.